All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Karkadash, Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Akim Akbar, when I say Shalom. And this is a prophecy updates as of March the 2nd, 2025. And this is a sit-down lesson of the prophecy updates as of March the 2nd, 2025 on a Sunday afternoon. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post, Jerusalem Post staff as of March the 2nd, 2025, and last updated March the 2nd, 2025, and it reads, as we've been seeing the ongoing throughout the years, and as of recently, we've been seeing the rising tensions between the Israel Defense Force going against Hamas and the pro-Iranian groups and the resistance of the Palestinians as well, too, even though they have a military ceasefire. I believe there was a recent news article that just came out as well, too, was saying that I believe it was a deadline that passed like day before yesterday or yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, to extend the ceasefire, which was taking place as of December or November of last year, if I'm not mistaken. And ever since then, the ceasefire had been intact between the Hamas and the Israel Defense Force. So you had one report from the Israel Defense Force saying that if a potential of an extension of a ceasefire doesn't go through, if it fails, the Israel Defense Force might not have no choice but to deploy more troops and more troops throughout, I would say, the borders of Syria and Lebanon and the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, which they've been doing heavy operations over there throughout these years, and as of recently as well too, especially over there in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank. In that region, as we've been saying, class has been heating up throughout the years and as of recently as well too. So I just know I want to add a side note to that. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post staff as of March the 2nd, 2025. And it reads, it says the IDF, which is the Israel Defense Force, planned military drills to take place in the south will cause road closures in March. It says a planned military drill will take place in Israel's south throughout March, the IDF announced on Sunday. It says it added that as part of the operation, several roads and sites in the area will be temporarily closed in various varying times. It says traffic arrangements will be affected. It says that the IDF also emphasized that the drill was not related to a security threat. But that's still Joel 3 verse 9 is in full effect, as I add a side note to that. You're still going to be having rising tensions between the Israel Defense Force going against the resistance of the Palestinians as well too, especially over there in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, throughout that whole region, and especially as of lately, especially in the month of January and throughout mid-February, we've been seeing definitely escalations heating up over there in the southern Lebanon border. As I add an additional side note to that, this is Matthew 24. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. It says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? Wars and rumors of wars. Iran versus Israel, the pro-Iranian groups going against the Israel Defense Force. Russia versus Ukraine. 144, call Allah Yabashim Shai. North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, United States. Those are indicator and increasing signs of wars and rumors of wars never seen in our world today, which is only going to continue to increase. This is Matthew 24, verse 6, once again. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're not going to be troubled with these things as us being the watchmen, as servants and prophets, because it's going to come to pass, it's going to be fulfilled, but it's not going to end just yet. This is Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, which we're saying right now, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. It says, for the sword of destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in hand. Right, so one people shall stand up and fight against the sword with swords in their hands, which is the modern day sword's weapon. So we're going to be seeing an increase, and it's going to come into full effect as well, too. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 15. It says, for the sword of destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in hands. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 16. For there should be sedition among men invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, and of course their actions stand in power. Right, just like the scripture says, Luke 21, verse 25, of the distress of nations will perplex and seize rich one, due to the increasing uptick of protests and seditions and the uprisings and uproars of the world and citizens going against their leaders' power and, of course, the action stay in power due to the increasing unrighteous creeds. Like it says in Isaiah 10 verse 1. So, I just want to add a sad note to that. Second Address 15 verse 16. It says, for there should be sedition among men invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, and of course, the actions stand in power. And this is the book of Second Address, chapter 9 and verse 3. Second Address, chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, therefore, when there should be saying earthquakes and uproars of people world. Right, so increasing earthquakes and increasing uproars of people world. And this is the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth, and discretion of nations will perplex and seize rich one. Right, so we're going to be seeing that increasing the discretion of nations will perplex and seize rich one. It says Germany scolds Ukraine need a strong army when the war is over. It says Michael Waltz says U.S. needs Ukraine leader who wants peace. It says Syrian forms committee to draft transitional charter. It says ultra-Orthodox protest blocks Highway 4 near the Ben Brack calls for NIZIS. Right, that's uproars of people world. Second Address 9 verse 3, Luke 21 verse 25, like I mentioned before. The Iranian preliminary impeachment economy ministers. It says states media says workers closely abandoning coals. It says a surprise, right? And it says it says the Israeli drone strikes in Bev, if I pronounced that right. It says the Hanyu northern Gaza kills one report. It says the government to approve up to it says a government to approve options to call up 400,000 IDF reserves. And this is a news article, and it reads as of from the Jerusalem Post as of March the 2nd, 2025, and it reads, it says the government to approve options to call up 400,000 IDF reserves. It says the Israeli government is set to approve on a Sunday the options to call up an additional 400,000 reserves to reserve duty until May the 29th, 2025. A copy of the proposal noted 2025 will be considered a year of war. That Joel 3 verse 9. Revelations 11 verse 14. Matthew 24 verse 6 to verse 7. Since I mentioned it, Luke 21 and verse 9. This is out of the book of Luke 21 verse 9. It says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified for these things, which first come to pass, but the end is not yet, end by. Right, so it's going to come to pass, but it's not going to just end just yet, end by. So we seeing signs of these increasing wars and commotions between the nations. This is Luke 21 verse 10. It says, then say he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right, so that goes into ethnos, modern day nations against modern day nations, modern day kingdoms against modern day kingdoms. And this is Luke 21 verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven. And this is the book of Mark chapter 24, and Mark 24 and verse 6. It says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet. Right, so it's not going to come to pass. It's going to come to pass, but it's not going to end just yet. This is Matthew 24 verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right, as we see in modern day nations against modern day nations and modern day kingdoms against modern day kingdoms. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Check out some more news articles. It says the U.S. judge declares Trump's fire of watchdog agencies head is illegal. It says Britain to provide $2.85 billion loans to Ukraine. It says explosions. Oh, that was yesterday, because today is the second. It says explosion sound in Syria caused by sound bombs. Arab media reports. Yeah, that was yesterday. So I'm checking the latest ones. And this is it says 10 gunmen and one soldier killed in a northern Benin attack. Right, that's upwards people were. It says U.S. News. It says U.S. tariffs on Canada and Mexico could be eased. Commits chief says. Right, because I believe it goes into effect on March the 5th or 6th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be like economical wars and trade wars between the nations. And that definitely goes into that Matthews 24:7. It says Lebanon seized funds bound for Hezbollah as a Beirut airport. It says Russian soldiers revolt, amending war, mysterious disappeared, refused to write. And it says it says it's only beneficial to Vladimir Putin. CNN analysts shut down Trump's Oval Office chaos breeze. It says and this is the latest tensions been heating up throughout the years, and as recently as well too. You know, North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States as well too. And this is a news article. Exit that. And this is a news article. This is the last news article that I'm closing out. And this is a news article from the Washington Times as of March the 2nd, 2025 by Han Young Jin Kim from the Associated Press, and it reads, it says the U.S. aircraft carrier arrives in South Korea. It says days after North Korea test fired missiles. And it says Seoul of South Korea, a U.S. air carrier arrived in South Korea on Sunday. And a show of force, say days after North Korea tested launch a cruise missiles to demonstrate its counter-attack capability. It says the arrival of the USS Carl Vinson, if I pronounced that right. It says its strike group at the South Korean's port of Bastion was meant to display a solid U.S.-Korean military alliance in the face of a persistent North Korea threats, and the boost of interoperability of the Allies' combined assets in the South Korean Navy, saying in a statement. It says it was the first U.S. aircraft carrier to travel to South Korea since June. It says that the deployment of the carrier is expected to infuriate North Korea, which views as a temporary deployment. And keep this in mind as we've been seeing rising tensions heating up between these nations. As you have North Korea look at that as a actual building up a military show forth from South Korea, Japan, and the United States. So yeah, that is true. That's definitely is going to infuriate more North Korea. So that's definitely going to infuriate them more, launching more missiles and having their armament soldiers prepared for war now, some more than ever. Which he made that statement previously. Previous times, as recently as well too. It says the deployment of the carrier is expected to infuriate North Korea, which temporary deployments as such powerful U.S. military assets as military security threats. North Korea has responded to some of the past deployment of the U.S. aircraft carriers, right, like I just mentioned, of the U.S. aircraft carriers, long-range bombers, and nuclear-powered submarines with the missile session. It says since his January 20th inauguration, President Donald Trump has said he will reach out to North Korea leader Kim Jong-un again to revive diplomacy. North Korea hasn't directly responded to Trump's overturned but allegedly U.S. hostilities against North Korea has intensified since Trump's inauguration. And you keep this in mind, I would say in early February, you had North Korea. He was saying that he's going to continue building up that anti-U.S. propaganda to building up more tensions between North Korea, South Korea, Japan, and the United States, and continue building up their nuclear capability as well too. It says North Korea says Friday that it tested a fired strategic cruise missiles earlier last week to inform adversaries of the military's counterattack capabilities of the readiness of the nuclear operation. It says after Washington launches North Korea's four missiles test even this year, it says Kim ordered his military to be fully ready in the use of nuclear weapons. It says experts says it won't likely accept Trump's overturn anytime soon. It says he is now focusing on his support of Russia's war in Ukraine. It says provisions of weapons and troops they say Kim would consider. It says a resuming diplomacy with Trump when he thinks he cannot maintain his country's current booming cooperation with Russia. It says Kim and Trump met 3 times in 2018 and 2019 during the Trump's first term. It says to discuss the future of North Korea's nuclear program. It says their high-stake diplomacy eventually collapsed due to the wrangling over the U.S. Economic sanctions on North Korea. So I'm bring up that Joel. And this is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so we see these nuclear escalations are heating up between the nations, North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, and the United States as a prime example. And the Heavenly Father continue to put that warlike mindset in these arms of nations. That's why we're seeing increasing of wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So this is definitely being proclaimed among the Gentile, the arms of nations. As the Heavenly Father continue to put that warlike mindset in these arms of nations and waking up the mighty men of these armed nations as well too. This is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And this is the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and employ us in the spirits and let the weak stand strong. Right, let the weak stand strong of these arms of nations, building up their nuclear capability against their adversaries. And we're seeing the building alliance between China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. And definitely we're seeing Iran is building up their nuclear capability, going against the Israel Defense Force. And we're seeing Russia building up their nuclear capability. And we're seeing North Korea building up their nuclear capability as well, too, against South Korea, Japan, and the United States. And this is the book of Revelations. Yep, this is the book of Revelations 11, verse 14. It says the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Right, so the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Armageddon, armor got won. And that's what we're seeing. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out through the Spirit, Power, Grace, and Mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And this is a sit-down lesson of the prophecy updates as of March the 2nd, 2020. March the 2nd, 2025 on a Sunday afternoon. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying. With that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwa. Until next time, I will say, Shalom.